Hey guys, throat's a little sore still. Just sounds weird. It doesn't actually hurt, so that's cool, right? Semogue 1438, a little boar with the extra grade hair, which is kind of their lower grade, but I'm thinking I'm going to like it. Its tips seem soft enough already, but they're going to get even better once the tips keep splitting. And the backbone is slightly above medium, and I think I'm really enjoying that. So in this case, 15 Aristocrat UK from Gillette, vintage. The model number, what is it? Set number 15, I believe, is the official designation. Inside that, we're going to put my feather. I believe I used it the other day, maybe last time. I have got 42 uses on the feather, so we'll go ahead and put on another one. Really enjoy this razor, and I noticed that I didn't have as many uses on it, kind of as my preference indicated. And so let's put on a few uses. So there we go, twist to open, all ready. Today, Weinstrasse from Declaration Grooming and Chatillon Luxe collaboration effort. Chatillon Luxe does the scent, and Declaration Grooming does the soap base. And this is, of course, the Icarus soap base. It's not the most current one. Most current is Milk Steak. You've seen me using that the last week or two. The one before this one is Bison, and I love all three of these bases. Be interesting. I've used Milk Steak for a while now. Maybe this shave can enlighten me as to whether I have a preference for Icarus or Milk Steak. I know I love the Bison. I may actually like it better than both of these two, but let's just play around and see. This is a new puck. It was a limited release, and I thought maybe the description sounded really good, but I wasn't sure, and when I'm not sure, I don't spend the money. And but then I was reconsidering reading people's reactions to it, and so I said, yeah, let me pull the trigger. Let me see if I can find it. Couldn't really find it too much on the used market right away, but someone very helpful pointed out that it was available at Top of the Chain, which is a Canadian maker, a Canadian retailer. Kind of like, I like Maggard razors a lot in the US. I like Connaught shaving a lot in the UK and for the European type brands. And I like, Top of the Chain is a Canadian kind of counterpart to those guys. And they still had some in stock. He gets it shipped to him. Carmine, I believe, is the guy's name. He gets it shipped to him, and then he, of course, sells it to the Canadian folks. And that's very helpful because a lot of the American aftershaves have alcohol, and that's difficult to get across the border unless you have established, protocols or whatever. As far as us sending it across the border, it's not really allowed. So this is what a brand new Icarus puck looks like. It's a little smushed on the top because, as you can see, the puck actually has dried up a little bit, and so it doesn't exactly fit the container. That's not a big deal at all, but that's why it's smushed a little bit. So it's a kind of a light brownish color, and the scent notes that are listed on the site are white grape, honeysuckle, iris, blackcurrant bud, sandalwood, coumarin, oakmoss, and musk. The kind of generalized description is it's a white grape top note, and then it's kind of a fougère with a white grape top note, and that means that there are flora and fauna as well notes. The coumarin, I believe, is also a trademark, a signature piece. Signature is not the word. One of the standard pieces that's in a fougère. Fougère, Fougere. It's a certain type of a scent. and which is nice because if you discover you like a fougère, then you can do some searches on other fougères, and you'll know kind of what genre they're going to smell like. I like some. Notice this one has honeysuckle, iris. Not bad. That's floral, and I like honeysuckle when I'm outside and I smell it. I haven't really enjoyed it when it's in a shaving soap yet. Maybe because it's associated with some other feminine florals that that don't quite make me enjoy it. Who knows? But you can definitely tell from the dry puck here the white grape aspect to it. It's very upfront. You do smell the florals. I don't know what iris smells like. I don't really smell the honeysuckle distinctively. Don't really know what blackcurrant smells like. Sandalwood's not noticeable. Probably the musk is a little bit. All right, so let's get it wet. Lather it up. I just took a shower, so my stubble is hydrated. So, very wet brush. I'm going to shake a lot of the water out of it. And let's just do a 40-second load because this is a dry puck. And we'll start at the 50-second mark there. When you have a loose puck, just make sure it doesn't spin when you load, because that can really change things. If it does spin, sometimes you have to add a lot of time to your loading, because when it spins, it's not, the brush is not moving across it. The brush is causing it to move, and it's staying with the brush. All right, so that's 30-second load. Probably don't need to go this far, but why not? And that's 40. And so we have something nice and pretty looking. Whether it's nice at this stage doesn't mean anything. I've had plenty of other excellent shave soaps look too thick at this point, look too thin and watery and bubbly at this point. I just wanted to show you what it looked like in my case. Now I am going to wipe off the excess around the threads there. The florals are really coming out there. All right, I'm really hoping that those base notes of the probably the sandalwood, coumarin, the oakmoss, and maybe the musk, maybe the blackcurrant, jump out nice and strong to counter the florals. This scent got some really good and strong positive reviews. Not the soap, because the soap kind of masks certain parts of the scent. It's if you're a perfumer, if you're creating scents, then the soap is one of the worst ones, is what I'm reading, because it just doesn't carry the scent well. Usually the alcohol type aftershaves, of course the colognes, the EDTs and the EDPs, those are the most optimal ways, because there's no scent that get in the way of your mix. Icarus, in fact, I believe they moved on, Declaration Grooming moved on from it because of a little bit of a scent that a lot of people were not liking, associated just with the soap base. And so there were some soaps that the soap base just added a weird scent to it. Now I haven't really had a problem with it. Just added 1 teaspoon. Mix it for a minute. Then we'll add another teaspoon. Another teaspoon. Might be getting close to the good lather here. Increasing in volume. Looking good so far. Nice, nice. Some of those pungent feminine florals are backing off in lather form. Three and a half teaspoons now in the lather. Should have looked on my Icarus notes, but it doesn't look like I'm overwatering it. Sometimes looks are deceiving, but hopefully that's the case. Oh man, that's a beautiful, beautiful lather. The creaminess looks terrific. Let's kind of pull it up and just see the elasticity. Hey, look at that. Thin, slowly collapses under its own weight. Let's go ahead and try it. This feels very light, and that's sometimes another indicator that you can use to find your own best viscosity. All right. Now a little water on my face. Water is chilly today. First lather, first pass might be a little extra special because usually I have oils on my face because I usually don't shower before my shave. Well, those are gone now, so I may actually enjoy that first pass a little more since the oils won't be there to mess up the lather. Definitely some backbone with this brush. Very different than my other Semogues, and I have about 7. Just a different hair grade. It's not a big knot, so it's not the number, it's not a larger diameter to making it more high backbone, more firm. It's just the nature of these particular bristles. Good scrub, still soft. And I'm going to go back and get a little bit more lather. Yeah, the white grape note is still in place. I am picking up some of those florals. So what I was saying was that Sean, the brains behind Chatillon Luxe, was actually getting some awards for this fragrance as a cologne type thing, and so that's always nice. I mean, I don't need to use an award-winning scent all the time. Doesn't really take a lot to have me enjoy a good shave soap. In fact, I think a lot of the leather and gunpowder and gasoline type soaps that I like are never going to make it on those in that kind of industry. Well, I really like this lather. I may like it better than milk steak. All right. Cold water today, hard water at this location as well. See how this 15 does with an old feather. It's not slicing through it like butter, but it's also not tugging either. Pretty comfortable. Not going to worry too much about taking off too much hair. Just going to kind of do my passes there, and more will come off in future passes. Well, boys, that was a cold rinse. Ladies too, I realize that there are some ladies out there who watch my channel. Welcome. Since you're in the vast minority, I may not always say, guys and girls, or boys and girls, or lads and ladies, or whatever. This might be a very close to perfect mix of the soap here. I'm liking this lather. Why not? I know I'm going to have extra. Why don't I go in and get some more here? One nice thing about the Boar, if you like lukewarm shaves or cool shaves, lukewarm specifically, you don't like the hot shaves, I find I get less inflammation and irritation, and that cool lather can be very refreshing. But a lot of times I don't want a cold shave, an actual cold, and that's sometimes what I'm getting out of my tap water early on. And so one of the nice things about mixing up the lather is that it gives the environment time to cool or warm up to room temperature my lather, and so that's nice. And a Boar can help with that if you've got cold water, because a Boar doesn't retain the heat like the thick badgers do, the bigger knots. They keep that heat. Boy, that's what they're good for. So you can make if you don't want that heat to, or cold in this case, either way, if you don't want that to stay in your lather, a boar might be a good option. Cross grain now for second pass. Will I get to 50 on a feather? A lot of people say they can only shave once with a feather, maybe 3 or 4. We'll see. My guess is yes. Comfortable shave here. A newer blade might have a better feel in terms of feeling like maybe you are slicing through like butter with a hot knife. And sometimes that's fun. But I am curious. This is my longest use feather, and so I'm curious how long it'll go. Not all of the stubble is cut, so the third pass is going to have some work to do. Third pass. Looks like we have plenty of lather to do the job. Looks like the 40-second load was warranted, just to make sure that I have some extra margin for touch-ups or just ease of lather creation. Sometimes it's nicer not to have only the soap you'll need. The extra margin, I think, makes whipping up the lather a little quicker. Cross grain again. Light touch on the razor. Feels very smooth. Nice and slick. Yep. I like this 15 a lot. I'm going to switch around and do my reverse cross grain direction to try to help get those trouble spot hairs right there. So that's the third pass, I believe, and rinse. Now we definitely have some hairs that need to be cut still in my trouble spot area next to my Adam's apple. Face looks pretty good. Here's the remainder lather. 2 passes probably I could do with that. And that's kind of where I like it, I think. So now I'm going to do a little bit more tugging on the skin and hit that same, this is my trouble spot area right here. Kind of gentle, lots of strokes, but just light ones. Now I'll move on to other places here. I don't even really need to shave this other side again, but why not? Excellent slickness on the razor, moving around, gliding real easy. And close enough cut. Happy with that. It may not be good if you're a high-profile lawyer or some kind of high scrutiny job where your shave is crucial. But for just about anybody else, I think that's a good shave. Do I see any length on any hairs? Nah, just the tips. So that's cool. Now, how am I enjoying that scent? A little bit too much florals for my preferences. I wish I could smell more. I mean, that white grape note is there. But the florals are strong. Coumarin, I wish I knew what that smelled like. I think I smell a little bit of the oakmoss. I wish the musk were stronger too. So, you know what? We are going to give it a few more chances though. See if I warm up to it. But man, look at that lather. That's terrific. Now, how does this feel in my hands? Feels slick. A little bit of, yeah, this is perfect. For me, this is just perfect. Nice viscosity. It's not, it's resisting me just a little bit. And so it feels terrific, feels luxurious. And I could run it thicker. This might be, no, this is perfect right here for me. Nice and wet, very slick, well hydrated. So I'm happy with that. All right, so interesting to see. Definitely glad I didn't get a post-shave product of this. I don't think I'd want to be wearing this around very much. Now, sometimes when you use a soap a second or third time, the scent changes. Now, whether it's your perception of the scent or maybe it weakens a little bit sometimes, there may be different reasons for that. First time I tried Barrister and Man, Glissant Bay Rum. It may have actually been the white label Bay Rum, to be honest. But anyway, I didn't like it too much. Then I used it a couple more times, started to like it. I'm going to definitely kind of do that with this one and see. My initial response is that's a little too floral to kind of really enjoy the scent during a shave. A little feminine kind of smelling. If it wasn't for the white grape, I definitely would be kind of writing it off as a little too floral for me. Because those undertones with the fougère, you know, the sandalwood, I don't really smell it. They're kind of on the weak side. Now, sometimes those lower notes don't come into play until later. The middle notes and the top notes kind of have to evaporate because of their scent nature of the compound. Have to evaporate before you can smell the base notes. But what matters to me is how it smells during the shave. And so if I never get to those nice bottom notes, then they might as well not be there, at least for me. All right, so not bad in terms of a shave soap. I definitely think it's an interesting scent, and so I can see why people are really liking it. I can see why it might get some awards, so that's cool. Good for him. Definitely seems like it was intelligently designed. So I believe Icarus did have purposefully built into it some post-shave care ingredients. However, you can tell it's not as much as the milk steak. I'm kind of happy about that though. I think this has told me that I like maybe Icarus a little bit more than the milk steak. Milk steak's definitely a softer soap. Starting out from the dry tub, I'm gonna bet Icarus is maybe gonna last twice as long. Your tub of product for the same weight is gonna last probably twice as long, 1.5 times as long at least, than milk steak. And this is an interesting, delicate scent. And I didn't get any soap base, you know, and I don't know, I wonder if Scott said that with declaration that there were some people that were having problems loading Icarus. I sure didn't. You come at it with just a lightly damp brush, and it was tremendous. Worked great. I do wish the white grape were a little stronger to help to counter the florals. That'd be nice. How much water did we use? 3.5. I didn't have to add any more than that. I think that was perfect for that 40-second load. Small bore brush, but a stiff one, but one with backbone, and a new puck. And so if I were to use the same soap tomorrow, I'm gonna guess I could have the same, if I use the same brush, I could have the same lather if I backed off 5 seconds, because it's gonna have some residual water that makes it easier to pick that soap up tomorrow. So it all depends on when you use the soap last. There are so many factors that affect your loading that I do provide what I used for that particular shave, but it's always just a ballpark. If you're way off, then it might help you get to a good region, a good vicinity of a nice shave. But it's never any kind of precision thing. There's just too many factors. All right, now, let's see how the Puzzle Aftershave mixes with the Weinstrasse. It's got some nice skin food in it, as well as alcohol and fragrance. I didn't quite get enough. Very little stinging, so a good technique. And a blade that's smoothed out can really help to give you a nice, comfortable shave, one that's not edgy and rough on your skin. Oh yeah, definitely happy with the results there. All right. I don't feel super confident with my thoughts on my guesses on the scent here. I'm going to guess I've got 3 out of 4 right. Apparently there's only 4 notes, but who knows? I'll do my best. Ended up with 2 extra passes, so we'll say 5 passes of lather I obeyed. About perfect. Here's that feather blade, and wanted to show you the markings just in case I get to 100 on it or something like that and people don't believe me. I want to try to show it every video. All right, well, we're done. It was good to try a new scent, and it was good to kind of get more information about Icarus, and I think I might actually like it better than milk steak. Pretty cool. Brush did great. Happy with the razor, and the feather blades coming along nicely. I may use it in something a little more aggressive next time, but really happy with it. Put another notch on the 15, the Aristocrat 15 from the UK. And I'm looking at my graph of popularity, the razors I've used the most, comparing that with a list that I've just created about my favorite razors, and I want to try to make them similar. And so if I've got a favorite razor here that just hasn't been used very much, I think I want to start using that kind of a little bit of math there to to help me make those kind of equal out a little bit. I mean, obviously it didn't have to be equal, but the more closely one list resembles the other, I think that's kind of the more satisfaction I'm getting from my collection, that I'm using my favorite razors the most and getting more enjoyment out of it. So I like that. All right, we're good. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there's been something good here for you. Take care. Good night.